Hey, what's happening? This is Jerry over at Wealth Dynamics. Hope you're having a good morning today. And I wanted to give you a really quick video this morning on things I've actually personally used my sacred account for, just to give you some examples and some ideas here. Now, before I hit this, I want to share with you, most people do not own a sacred account. Of those that do own, and I'm not even going to call it a sacred account because they're not using it like one. Of those that do own cash value life insurance, okay, which is what the sacred account is, only 6% of them actually utilize it as a sacred account, meaning they don't even know that they can use it for investing. They don't know they can use it as a banking source. They just let the cash value sit there. Okay, so I want to share with you how I've used mine to give you some practicality on how yours can be used as well. Okay, so when I started funding mine, I think I began it with like $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month, every single month going into it. And that was, basically getting the thing up and running and getting it started. Now, once I started that, about 75% of my contribution went into my cash value. About 25 of that purchased shares. And basically what I did initially was I paid off debt. So I started looking at, you guys have heard of the debt snowball, right? Where you pay off, your smallest balance and you work your way down to the largest balance. So I would do this. I would contribute to my sacred account. As soon as I had enough money in my cash value to pay off one of my debt balances, I would borrow against my sacred account and I would use it to pay off that entire debt. Okay, now that did two things for me. Number one, it freed up my debt, so I wasn't paying interest. And then number two, it freed up my cash flow because I didn't have to make a monthly payment any longer. That payment could now go to me. I was effectively refinancing myself out of my own debt in a way where I would profit from the transaction. So I refinanced my debt out with my sacred account, meaning I took a loan against my cash value. I used that loan to pay off my debt. And then I took the old payment, this is important. I took the old payment that I used to put towards the debt, and instead, I paid back my loan on my sacred account on a monthly basis. Okay, so that's the first thing I did. That was before I had enough money to invest, before I had enough money to really do much with, because I had just started the account, right? And I do want to talk about real quick, paying off debt is an investment. Okay, so for those of you that are like, man, that doesn't sound very exciting, think about it. An investment has an interest rate. So if I pay off debt, I save interest, which is effectively making interest by not having to pay interest I would have had to pay, right? Second thing, an investment has cash flow. So by paying off my debt, I freed up the payment, which gave me cash flow. So it operates just like an investment. So I'm looking at this thing like an investment. I'm going to pay off this debt. I'm going to get the cash flow back. I'm going to save the interest. I'm going to then pay myself back with what the payment used to be, just like I would if it was a refinance out with a lender. And I did that all the way down the line until the debt was gone. That was what I initially started with, okay? The second thing I did is I spent the money, I then started investing the money in marketing my business. Okay, so I would borrow from my sacred account to get my business up and running, to fund my marketing, for the new ideas I was coming up with, to put money behind those and actually move the ball forward. Like, those were things I was doing with my sacred account after I paid debt down. And the reason why is because it wasn't a huge capital investment. I didn't have a ton of money in the account yet, so I was still building it up. So it wasn't a huge amount of capital, and it was something that had a good ROI. I was in control of it, okay? Now, once I had the account built up, I started getting into private lending. Okay, so I would lend money out, and I still do this all the time. This is the main thing I do with my sacred account. I would lend money out, and I would charge a interest rate for someone to borrow that money. I would secure it by either an income stream or a real asset, and then I would make money off that investment, and it was entirely passive. And guys, that's what banks do. Banks are in the lending business. You guys think they're in the deposit business. They're not. They're in the lending business. When you deposit the money to the bank, guess what they do? They lend it. They lend it out to other people and make money on it. So I'm thinking about how can I operate the same way with my sacred account. So I'm lending money out. I'm doing cash advances. I'm doing private lending deals. And I'm making like 20-30% returns on these deals, like incredible returns. Okay. And so that's what I initially started really focusing on with my sacred account. Now, as it's been growing, I've continued to do private lending. I've done a little bit of real estate with it, not a ton, because I don't want to be responsible for a property when I'm doing my business right now. So I prefer lending. But those are the things that you can use your sacred account on right off the bat. And a lot of us, like, we're thinking about like just making it, just paying the bills. If you put the money in a sacred account, as I mentioned, the first thing you can do is eliminate all of your debt. So if your objection has been, man, I need to pay off my debt first, you're missing the point. The sacred account will help you pay off your debt. And it will help you pay off your debt in a way where it's an investment, not this reactive emotional decision that leaves you broke. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that that gives you some practical examples of how you could use your sacred account as well. Thank you for watching. And if you are watching this real quick, I want to share an offer with you. So the sacred account is an account that we set up for our clients, and it's where you're going to keep your saved income. It's a secured sacred account where you keep your saved income for the sole purpose of investing for cash flow. That's the only reason you ever use the money in the sacred account. So if you've been watching this, or maybe you've been thinking about the sacred account, or you're just now hearing about it, I want to make you an offer. If you click on the link in the comments, it's called sacredaccount.com. Sacredaccount.com. That's going to lead you to our page. And if you have questions and you want more information, check that page out. Okay, there's no pitch on there. It's literally math, information, questions, answers. And if that is intriguing to you, you can go to the vault. On that page, there's an area called the vault. We came out with it. It's got real sacred accounts like posted on the website, so you can see the numbers. It's got videos explaining how it works. It's got historical descriptions of their dividends. Everything you need to know is on that website. So if you're interested in the sacred account, that's thing number one. Reach out on the website, get all the information. Number two, if you are going to set up an account, you can't set one up by yourself. It's impossible. You have to have a registered agent. So if you don't have a registered agent, there is no way for you to set up a sacred account. It's not humanly possible. You have to have an agent that sponsors you in. So I am a registered agent. So if you're thinking about the sacred account and you're like, all right, well, I don't know how to do it, I'm not a registered agent, and I want to get more information, reach out to us. That's what we're here for. That's why I do these videos every day. So if you want to learn more about the sacred account and you want to work with someone who's registered, who understands the account and is going to do the right thing for you, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer your questions and give you all the information you're looking for. So again, sacredaccount.com. Reach out to me, a registered agent, and like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.